Hi, good evening to everyone. Today we need to discuss Spring Batch. What is the Spring Batch? And what is the architecture of Spring Batch? What is the use of Spring Batch? These things we can discuss today. I prepared one document as well. The document has Spring Batch related thing I prepared. Okay, let's get started. What is a Spring? Spring Batch is a lightweighted. Basically, Spring Batch is a lightweighted and comprehensive batch framework designed to the enable development of robust batch application. If you want the robot batch application means that a robust application we can run at night and specific time, isn't it? And what purpose the batch application we can use? That batch application we can use, that application which will be processed bulk record is called batch application. Okay, bulk record we can call batch application. For example, sending the monthly salaries to all employees in company, isn't it? And generating monthly payslip for employees and sending monthly bank account statement for the account holder and sending monthly credit card bill statement to card holders and sending festival greetings to all customers and sending notices to daily or weekly or monthly yearly basis also by using the Spring Batch only. Okay, let what is the Spring Batch? That Spring Batch, it can that we have the CSV file. That CSV file, it is stored inside the data by using the process. It will store in the data and database, and it will again convert it into file as well, isn't it? Let me tell. Let me tell. I will discuss that one example as well. Spring Batch architecture. Spring Batch architecture is there here. This is a Spring Batch architecture. This is Spring Batch architecture. Let paint it. I want to open paint here. Yes, this is the Spring Batch application, right? Spring Batch architecture. Spring Batch architecture. Just wait, man. It is not visible well. Yes, I think here Spring Batch architecture is the right. Yes, this one. Copy here and paste here. Delete this one, paste here. Why it was not copied right? It is not happening. I don't know. Let's get started again. I want to use this one. Copy image and paste here. Yes, now fine, right? This is the Spring Batch architecture. This Spring Batch architecture, we have so many components to involve the process the data by using the Spring Batch architecture. This is the basically the Java repository in there in the Spring Batch. In the top of the Java repository, they replaced job launcher and job and step, isn't it? The job launcher launch the job and job will execute the job and step the process the steps. Steps also they have again contain the item reader, item processor and item writers. What will happen? By using the step, it will read the item, it will read the data from database. Okay, and process the data. I again give back to the give back to the actual data to our customer. Okay, and here steps again to the item writer as well. Item writer, it will write the data inside the DB. CSV file can convert into store CS by using the CSV file. It will store inside the database and retrieve the database from the CSV file. Also, we can retrieve the data from CSV file. Data basically here one data, for example, I can say here this is the CSV file, for example. This is the database, for example, right? This is CSV file, and this is DB. Okay? DB. Here, item reader or item processor. Item reader means read the data from database. It is read the data from database and store inside the CSV file. Item writer means write the data from CSV file to DB, isn't it? From CSV file to DB, it will process. These many components to involve the Spring Batch. The Spring Batch, what we had? Spring Batch, what terminology is there? Spring Batch is there. Java is the job repository. The job repository in the top of the some of the interviewer will ask, do you know Spring Batch? Yes, I know Spring Batch. That Spring Batch, we have that so many components. The Spring Batch have the architecture as well. That architecture contains job repository. In the top of the job repository, we have job launcher and job and steps, isn't it? Job launcher launch the job, and job will execute the or process the item, and steps to involve item reader and item processor and item writer. These many steps it will involve. It will involve by using these many steps. Okay. How the steps will do the item reader means read the data from DB to CSV, and it will process the data, isn't it? And item writer also write the data to the CSV file to the database. That's it. That's about the architecture details of the Spring Batch. Okay. This is the I explain what there. Right. These are the terminology we are using in the architecture, isn't it? In the Java repository, again we have the job launcher, where in Java repository, job launcher and job and steps. Again, steps involves to item reader, item processor, and item writer. This many terminology they are using in the Spring Batch. Okay. Here, for example, we have the one requirement, right? That requirement name is the read customer data from CSV file and write it into database table. Okay. What is that requirement? The read the customer's data from CSV file. The customer data stored in the CSV file and read that. Write the that whatever it is, that CSV file is stored in DB. Okay, that is our requirement. That requirement purpose, what we have to install, or what dependency you need to store. The dependency here is these things, right? Web starter, batch, Spring Batch, and what happened? I don't know. Something happened to this. Yes, and my SQL driver and Lombok. Lombok to avoid the boilerplate code, right? And my SQL driver, it will storing purpose into the DB, isn't it? And data JPA, it is also it is the persistence logic purpose we can use. And batch, Spring Batch, it is the Spring Batch for the process the bulk operations. Okay, that purpose we can use. And configure the data source property in application.property or application.yml file. Okay, these many things stored inside the application, and keep the source files under what? SRC main resource. Whatever you created the source file, CSV file, this customer CSV file, it will store under the src main and resource. Inside the resource, you will you will store csv file and create the entity class and repository classes as per your customer class requirement, and also create the batch configuration class and create the rest controller and launch job. Okay, launch job you can create. And here the assignment I have. Assignment also I have. It's the read I explain, write the data inside the DB. Let me check. I want to open my GitHub. This is the GitHub. GitHub. Yes, this is my GitHub. Inside the GitHub, you go batch. Yes, Spring Batch process CSV to H2DB. Spring Batch process CSV H2DB to CSV. Both I have the repository. I explained this one, right? Let me open this code here under the SRC. Under the SRC, I configure what in the main in the resource files I created mock data.csv. This is the mock data CSV I created. Open that mock data.csv. What contain? This is the mock data. These are the mock data. It will store in the DB by using the Spring Batch. Let here the application.property I am configured here. That application.property. This is the H2DB properties. URL and username, password, and driver class name and console is enabled, right? When I execute the dynamic query, I need to show that purpose you can use this one. And platform purpose, JPA database platform purpose you can use this one. These many things configure in application.property or application.yml. And here open up that main Java code. Here I created these many packages: config, controller, listener, model, and repository. And this is the main class. This is the entry class of the Spring Batch. And here config or controller, whatever model, inside the model, go model. I created these many entity classes. This is the entity class, base entity class. Inside the base entity class, I created these many things, right? I created these many things. Why it is not opening? Is every time it is showing stable. I don't know. Yeah, this is the base class, right? In the entity class, I created that just ID, only ID in the base entity. Okay, and gender.java is male and female. And go inside that user.java. User.java I created so many things, right? Here, first name, last name, and email, and gender, and country name, and a local date birth, and int age. These many things I created for the user table. Okay, and entity classes and user input.java as well, right? The user input.java is the string. So many things I created here, isn't it? Let you can check there. You will understand. String like private string, person ID, and private string, first name, last name, email, country, gender, birthday. These are the input data. Okay, go here and config what I configured. The batch configuration dot class is there, and process user processor is there. Mean the inside the batch configuration I created, right? So many things here. The private final job builder factory is there, and private final step builder factory is there, and user repository is there. Okay, and then here I created one method and flat file item reader user input, right? And here that flat file input reader I created that object and set by using the set item reader dot set resource. Here whatever it is where located my data I am setting here, and that set the name, set the legend to skip one. because of first one is that details, right? First one is the details of the header, right? First one is the header. That's the reason I am skipping on first cell, and that item dot set item dot set a line mapper is there, and then return reader. After that, line mapper user input and line mapper is method is, and default line mapper passing here user input and line mapper equal to new default line mapper. These are the object I have created, right? And then after here limited line tokenizer and limit line tokenizer equal to new delimited, not limited, is the delimited line tokenizer. This is the also one object is created, and then line tokenizer dot set limiter and line tokenizer dot set strict. It is a false, and line tokenizer dot set name. Here, what you are setting here, person ID and first name, last name, email, gender, birthday, country. Here, what we are putting only user input. That's the reason user input entity class. We have these many things, right? And then after that, bean wrapper file state mapper is there, and also same user input. By using the user input, we are creating one object and setting target type is there, right? Where target is there, user input entity class, and line mapper dot set tokenizer like that, okay, and return the line mapper. And here customized bean we are creating by using the bean annotation, and user processor by using the user processor, return the user processor also I created. And then after that, here repository writer item writer user is there. User, we are taking that user entity class, and here creating the user entity for that object as well here, and then setting the repository, set the method name. What you are doing, saving inside the DB. That's the reason I pass it the save. And then step one, step is started, right? Step is started. Where step is started? This step has item reader and item writer, right? That's the reason step is started. Step builder factory dot get CSV step. First of all, it will getting the step CSV file, and by using the user input entity class and user class, isn't it? And up to chunk. Every time bulk operation is there, right? Bulk data is there. That by bulk data we can't execute at a time. Every chunk it will store 10 items, and first chunk it will store 10 items, second chunk it will store next 10 item. I like that. So step by step it will storing inside the DB. All data won't be stored, isn't it? That is the reason I am creating chunk. And dot reader file is there, dot reader and passing reader method, and parser and writer and listener here the step execution listener we are passing, and task executor and build. These many steps you need to involve for the step one. And then after that, what will happen? Job launcher is come into picture. The job launcher again we created one run the job method, and run the job method return job builder factory target import user jobs, and dot listener, and here passing the job execution listener method, and flow step one and dot end and build. These many things it will execute by using the job. Job is running, right? Job is running by the job run job method only. And task executor is there. That task executor also created one method. That task executor, after that they have to created one object, right? Inside that async executor dot set currency, currency limit is 10. Set currency limit is 10 means it is setting that up to 10 checks, and return the async task executor. And then customized bean also we have created. The customized bean the user job execution notification job. These many things we created, right? And go back after config user parser is there, right? In the user parser, what we have discussed here, the what user you are implementing, that class public class user processor implements the item processor. We are we are implementing the item processor here, right? Item processor, we are passing user input, and user. These are the entity classes. And here is the file is there, right? That is the reason we created the process method. The process method is passing the user input and user input. And then if maybe occur that exception, that is the reason we throw the exception as well. User is equal to user dot build method. After that person ID, it will setting first name, last name, email, country, these many things. It is setting, and user the return the user. And then after that also format the local date. Okay, formatting the local date as well. These many steps to involve to the user processor. And go back inside. Yes, controller. Controller is batch controller we have created, right? Inside the batch controller, what is the inserting the data? That's the reason we using the post mapping. I will explain later. Okay, what is the post mapping? What is the put mapping? What is the delete mapping? These things I will explain. Okay, post mapping here import user jobs, and a response entity is the customized response entity. That is the reason we are passing the string message and import CSV to DB job. Okay, and log.info, where whether it is a log is happening or not, it will showing in the console. And then also here, what is that here? Job parameter and job parameter code is here. The one object is created, add log. It is the started at what time is started, also printing. Okay, and then if it is job log dot run, it will print. And if it is the execution not happening, what type of exception has occurred, also we are printing here by using the try catch block. Okay, that's if it is the execute is fine, execution happen is perfect, it will customized bin or customized response entity we are providing by using the batch process completed. Okay, and it is a status status dot okay means it is the successfully 200, it will show you. Okay, that's happened by using the string batch controller. Controller also is implemented, and repository. In the repository, what user repository we have created, that user repository is extended the JPA repository, right? I explained that yesterday class. You can listen what about that JPA repository and what is the correct repository. You can listen and let me know if you don't know. Okay, and go back again. And the repository model listener, yes, listener is the we have created two listeners: user job execution notification listener and user step complete notification listener. These many things we have created, right? That's it. I think there is no nothing. There is nothing. Okay, that's it. What is your task? What is your task? Your task is today. You can do read the data from DB table and store the CSV file. Okay. If you don't know, you can visit my profile. You can visit my profile on GitHub repository. Go back. Okay. Go back. Yeah. You can see here also. Is the first one is the Spring Batch process CSV to H2DB, and second one is the Spring Batch process to H2DB to CSV. This is your task, today task. Okay, this is your today's task. Probably, uh, probably today is enough. That's it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me grow and bring more awesome content for you. Hit the bell icon so never miss an update when I updated in YouTube channel, and let me know your thoughts in the below comments. Okay, and I love hearing from you, and thank you for your support. And today I am signing off. Bye bye.